Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the R&S Comic Podcast. I'm Ralphie, and this guy right over here is Swampy. No, just kidding. I'm Swampy. That's Ralphie. Get it right or pay the price. And we're here to just talk with you about some comics. Let me turn this music down. It's our first episode, so we got growing pains with some of this. But thank you for checking in with us. Mr. Machio, how are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm excellent.
Ready to talk some comics.
Oh, indeed, indeed, indeed. First things first, we got two heavy hitters of superhero moviedom. Let's just, real quick, you just saw Fantastic Four. Tell me what you thought of it.
Loved it. It was a great time. I thought thematically hit everything it needed to. It visually looked great. It really put you in that time period. Visuals were great. The effects were awesome. You got to see some cool, unique things that you haven't seen, and we've now 39 or 40 movies into Marvel, the MCU, and it managed to show you things that you hadn't seen yet. So it was a movie absolutely fitting to relaunch the Fantastic Four and to take them into the current MCU, and excited to see where it goes.
That's good to hear. I really want to catch it within the next week or so. But yeah, hopefully I get to go see it soon because I am beyond hyped for that. All the other Fantastic Four movies that have ever come out have been pretty disappointing. I've only seen bits and pieces of them, and they bored the hell out of me and made some really silly choices that this new one doesn't feel like it's making. So it's good to hear that you're happy with it. And as far as superhero movies go, I gotta recommend you go see Superman with the kids too, because man, or wait for it to come on VOD August 15th. I've heard pretty soon.
Oh, that's soon. Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's a successful movie, but yeah, I think they're just trying to push it out there, and just get as many people watching as possible. Because oh man, it's a really good one too. Um, It's really bright and colorful, which is something the Superman franchise has been missing in its cinematic incarnations over the past decade or more. And I liked Man of Steel. That was a fun movie. I kind of dropped off after that, but this movie, Superman with David Cornsweet, is so good. It's silly in the right ways, and it has so much heart. And much like I noticed with a lot of the fashion of the Fantastic Four and just the style of it and Galactus just looking like Galactus. It's really cool that it feels like superhero movies are over being embarrassed about what they're based on. You know what I mean? Like even as much as I love the Avengers and stuff, there is still like, yeah, but Hawkeye, we just got to make sure he's like we'll just kind of put him in some like Spec Ops armor, and we're not gonna give him that helmet with the H on it. You know what I mean? Like, that's too embarrassing. But they could have made it work. It would have been cool. Captain America wore a helmet with an A on it. Like, I was never understood why they were so averse to doing that kind of stuff. And it seems like we're drifting away from that era, which is beyond cool to me. Like I'm really excited to see what both the DCU and MCU have in store for us over the next decade or so. It's looking good. But well, Machio, should we dig into our news?
Take it away, good sir.
All right. Well, let's see. First up here, as you see, if you know what this image is, you know what I'm about to talk about. DC has been killing it lately with their Absolute line of comics. There's a comic imprint that started with 3 comics last year, and they've added 3 more. The 3 that started it were Absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. And now we got Absolute Martian Manhunter, Green Lantern, and Flash, all about to hit their 6th issue. And let's see, yeah, the other 3 are on their 10th or so. and it's been really good. Chris, have you had a chance to read? I know you've kind of purchased a couple of Absolute books. Have you had a chance to dig in at all and see what it's all about?
No, not yet. Yeah, and you're correct. Yeah, I got the absolute Batman's 1 through 3 to dive in, give that a series a shot. The absolute stuff sounds cool. My basic understanding is yeah, there's like a alternate reality where this guy he's probably a god or something, but it's like a world where it festers on their negative energies or thoughts or emotions or whatever, and it's just like this whole alternate universe that's built off of that, and I think Batman's cool, and then the fact that it's just completely rewrote his origin story and that he didn't grow up wealthy. I know that part. So yeah, but I haven't started to dive into it yet. I've had a big back catalog that I've been trying to blaze through and read. So saving that one, but I will start it before the Batman, well, the Marvel DC crossover in September.
Excellent. Yeah, you got to get through those. You're gonna fly through those first three issues. They're great, and you pretty much nailed it on the head. Yeah, basically what happened in the main DC universe during an event called All In, which led to the current era of All In DC. The big bad in the universe, the embodiment of all evil and destruction, Darkseid. He was killed, and his essence was spit into a primordial world, which grew up with his influence. So it's a lot of the same DC characters you've met with a new twist, but not for the sake of just being shocking or now Batman kills people where he didn't before or anything like that. Like a lot of these characters are still the same people that they are in main DC, just different because of different upbringings that they faced a lot more adversity to. And yeah, it's really good. So this fall I'm really excited about this Absolute Evil special that we're seeing right here. And you got the hands of a few of the villains. I believe we see Ra's al Ghul, or that could be Bane, that big hand, but I'm pretty sure it's Ra's al Ghul. I'm pretty sure that's dark hair flowing down the big buff bear arm.
I
Then I
recognize
believe,
the green and the stripes. That's about it.
yeah, the green one, yeah, is Brainiac. Um,
Oh,
I
I was
believe
gonna
the
say
one.
something like Riddler,
No, 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 that's Brainiac,
Riddler, Jokler.
and it's cool. Like in the DC Absolute universe right now, it seems a lot of the bad guys, instead of being villains that are trying to get money or rob this or gain power and da 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 da. These villains already have all the power and the money, and it's a really cool take to see. It's like, oh, they've already won. What now? Like, how does the world function? And it sucks. The world sucks. I would not want to
Right,
live
because
in the Absolute universe.
wasn't that one of the functions where like all the advantages of the heroes are taken away, and now all the villains they all have the upper hand in this reality.
Yeah,
It's a villainous world.
yeah, it's a villain's world for sure, and I can't wait to see where it goes with this special. Um, Absolute Green Arrow was announced at San Diego Comic Con for a 6-issue miniseries that's going to be coming out next year, and I have a feeling he's going to get introduced into this, and he's going to bust up this little meeting. That's what my prediction is, and that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But I'm really excited to see how the main villain of Absolute Martian Manhunter is represented, because that's a weird one. But yeah, it's really cool. If you see on this picture right here, I don't know if you can zoom in enough, Chris, with our watching situation. But on the bottom left there, you see the black woman there with the green marks on her face. That's Joe Mullen from Absolute Green Lantern. And then right under her is Hawkman. And we haven't met Hawkman at all, or he's never even been mentioned in the Absolute Universe. So that's really interesting. All those other pictures represent people that are already have books and whatnot. Um, but yeah, Hawkman. So I guess he's here too, and yeah, I'm just really excited to see where that goes. But yeah, let's head to our next piece of news. Let's keep it moving here. we got DCKO coming out, and holy crap, I'm excited for this. The big epic all-in era is coming to what I'm pretty sure is probably its midpoint, and we're getting DCKO this fall. And this is a great jumping on point for new DC readers because it's just going to be a fun event where everybody's going to be fighting everybody in a Mortal Kombat style tournament that matters for the story. It's a lot to get into right now, and I'm not even clear on parts of it because we haven't gotten that far in certain comics. So, but DCKO just sounds like so much fun. Like, you were saying, Chris, like the concept sounds a lot like Secret Wars in a way. But instead of two big teams, yeah, it's like a bracketed one-on-one Mortal Kombat style tour or tournament where yeah, some hero is going to have to inherit all the merciless evil in the world so they can go on and fight Mr. Creator of the Absolute Universe, Big Bad Darkseid. It's kind of funny that Batman is on this cover because, for as far as I know, he's not going to be in this tournament at all. This is going to be a very Superman-centric event because during the pandemic and post-pandemic, they had a couple of events, Dark Knight's Metal and Death Metal. Dark Knight's Metal was a big epic Batman event. Death Metal was a big epic Wonder Woman centered event, and this one's going to be a big Superman centered one, appropriate for this year, coming off the summer of Superman. We're getting to the last month of it, and yeah, and there's a weird kind of, it's going to be hero versus hero and villain versus villain, and this image doesn't necessarily mean these people are going to be fighting each other, but I just really like seeing a villain like Gorilla Grodd and Black Manta against Plastic Man and Dr. Fate and Supergirl, who's one of my current favorite books right now, and just characters in general. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff. And there's a picture of the big bad Omega himself, Darkseid, and I think this one's going to kind of breach into our. Oh no, it's just going to be small. Yeah, big. All those are alt covers that are coming out. Not all the alt covers, but just some of the ones I liked, and I love these really busy full of hero kind of images. Mm-hmm. So I'm definitely going to be picking this one up. And there's one with a wrestler that I really like on it, fighting Lobo, that I'm going to pick up. And then whatever has foil on it, because I'm a sucker. Shut up and take my money, DC. Make it shiny.
Yeah, foils are great.
But as a non-DC reader, I don't know. What do you think of this? Hearing about this type of event, does it make you go, that sounds kind of corny, or does it make you go, oh, that sounds like they're having fun over there, or I don't know. What do you think, Mr.
The second take, yeah, it's it solves. You always have the question when you read comics, like, who would win in a fight, this person or this person? And doesn't matter if they're good or bad. You still wonder sometimes, and it's fun when you just pin them up in random events like this, where it allows you creative freedom to just like, we're going to take these two people that historically are maybe even best friends, and in this scenario, they're going to bash each other till some kind of story conclusion warrants whatever resolution that is. So it's fun to see this kind of stuff. And you're right about the busy art. I do love covers like this. I myself own many covers and issues that kind of have this just whole giant team versus team brawl, and I love the intricate detail in the art that really is necessary to accomplish such a thing. A lot of planning you got to do.
Oh, indeed. I want to show you something real quick. It's fun to have my boxes behind us, because then I can just dig through. There we go. So, I just gave you the new history of the DC Universe 1 and 2, and I can't wait to hear about those when you get around to them. Pretty easy read to thumb through or whatever, but the alt covers that I got, yeah, were totally that style.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, just tons. And here's issue 2. It's also double-sided. There's going to be 4 of these, and I'm going to get all of them like this. Stoked.
Those are basically Where's Waldo of DC.
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah, like it makes my little ADHD brain, and I really do have it, folks. I'm officially diagnosed. Makes my little ADHD brain just fire off on all cylinders looking at stuff like this. Always has since I was a kid. So yeah, super excited for this busy DCKO cover. I forgot to show you those two when you were over last weekend. So yeah, there we go. Let's see, what's our next news item here? We have got. Oh yeah,
Batman series.
yeah. Oh, there's the so far official cover of DCKO. I don't know if
Yeah, it's
that's
cool.
yeah. But we got a couple of Batman things to talk about. You know, we're new to this, and I realized that I did forget to put in key art for the new Batman stuff, but we can talk about it as we're talking about Batman and Deadpool here. But first, let's just talk about the new Batman series, two of them. There's Immortal Legend Batman, which I believe is going to be a 6-issue mini-series that's really based in how is it described? I'm going to look up the term here because I tried to memorize it earlier and I still couldn't. Come on now. This window won't move. There we go. It's a tokusatsu. Um, so it's going to be very very anime inspired, and it's all in space. And it seems like Batman, Robin, and Nightwing have all gained this power of the immortal and become immortal legends, and it's just gonna be crazy, over the top space fight stuff, and yeah, I think that's a really cool direction to take Batman in. I'm not a huge anime guy. I don't read a lot of manga or any at all, really, since Lone Wolf and Cub when I was 19. But this just seemed really cool to me, and with art by Dan Mora, I mean, he's my favorite or second favorite. Jamal Campbell first. Oh, but then the guy that does Absolute Martian Manhunter is up there. They're all tied for first. But yeah, with art by Dan Mora doing some really cool spacefaring Batman stuff, I'm excited to check out something that I know is going to be a limited mini series too, as far as getting into something to the side of Batman. Because the big news is that for only the fourth time ever, Batman is rebooting this September 3rd, and Matt Fraction is going to be drawing it along with Jorge Jimenez. Yes, that's who's doing the art. Yeah, Jorge Jimenez is doing the art with Matt Fraction writing, and all the previews seem really cool. It seems like we're getting a little more of a classic. I don't know how to put it. Like, because Batman's always going to be dark and good, but a little bit of more of a color splash into Black Batman, a lot more blue, and that always just when Batman has more color, I'm always like more excited to read about him. You know, sometimes he just gets into black and gray, and I'm just like, you're just a pissed off rich guy. But I don't know. This
Yeah.
is like current Batman with a tiny bit of Adam West Batman thrown on top. With would you really wear that fighting crime? Who would be actually afraid of that? You know. But yeah, I'm super excited for this new Batman series, and you're gonna get down with this one too, Chris.
Yep. For sure.
Oh hell yeah. Yeah, I'm stoked to see where it goes. I've seen some pictures of the new Batmobile, and it looks sick. And yeah, yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. I think. Super excited. But moving on from Batman and kind of shuffling into the space between of Marvel and DC, let's talk about Deadpool and Batman. I'm hyped for this crossover. It's coming out September 17th, I believe.
That sounds right.
Yeah, and it's gonna have a few crossovers in it. What are you looking forward to the most, as far as besides Deadpool and Batman? Because that's gonna be good, obviously. But were there any other crossovers that really caught your eyes, looking like they were gonna be fun?
Honestly, every single one of them sounds like a good time. I hope there's more, to be honest. I think it's if this is just this one-off with this book that has the what I think 5 stories or 4 stories to it, I think it'll be kind of a little disappointing for me because I feel like there's more here that you could really, even if it's just a mini series that runs, I don't know, 3 or 4 issues. But you
Right.
know, I think there's other stories, other pairings that you can do, and clearly, some of these characters you easily can run with multiple times.
Yeah. I'm I personally am really excited for the like, and this one was just announced. It wasn't part of the first batch of announcements, but it's like they knew me so well, and they like, if I got to make a wish, they answered it without me having to ask it. But they paired up Rocket Raccoon and Hal Jordan Green Lantern together for a little backup story, and I'm really hyped for that. I love both of those characters, and I can't wait to see them do some spacefaring ass kicking. It's gonna be pretty cool to see Daredevil and Oliver Queen, the Green Arrow, together too. Um, I know Green Arrow probably is one of those DC characters you kind of look at and you're like, yeah, Robin Hood guy. Sorry, Hawkeye is 10 times cooler. And I will say they're both pretty cool. Like Oliver Queen, the person, is a lot more cynical than you think, and he
Mm.
dresses like that on purpose as kind of a joke, like a fuck you to the people he fights. He's like, yeah, look at me, I look like Errol Flynn, you dork. Now I'm gonna kill you with a boxing glove on the end of an arrow. You know, pretty rad.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, him and Daredevil together should be fun. Captain America and Wonder Woman is like a perfect pairing. Like, as
Yeah.
is Jeff and
Yeah. They're both.
Crypto. I mean, the two
Yeah.
good boys of
That's
each
probably
universe.
that's probably my go-to number two. The announced pairings. But what's interesting about that Captain America and the Wonder Woman, they're like mythos, very similar. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to pair those two together.
Yeah.
That cover right there is I love that one. That's
You
probably
you like that cover?
I
Or are
love
you
it.
just excited?
Straight,
Really?
no, I straight up love it. I've got a soft spot for the cartoony kind of imagery done in the veins of like a Dan Hip. So,
Yeah.
yep, love
Well, it's
it.
good old Frank Miller doing that one. Like,
Yeah. Well, and I love Frank Miller, but
yeah,
it totally gives me a modern comic like comedic cartoony style. But no, I dig it.
I just don't know what to think of it because when you look at it, you're like, okay, it's Batman and Wolverine looking up, but then you're like, why are they underwater? Like, it just seemed
Yeah,
like an excuse for him to not have to draw them from a different angle, honestly.
I'll be honest. Sure, those are fair points. I honestly didn't really look at the background, to be honest. I do see the water bubbles, but you know me, I'm a simp for Wolverine. So
Oh
I
yeah,
see
you are.
Wolverine, I see Batman,
We're,
and it's just boom.
I can tell we're gonna have a slight debate about that later, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's see. Oh yeah, this last cover art.
Yeah,
I
this
love
that cover is great too.
that. So seeing Deadpool and the Joker next to each other, that also makes me think, oh, it's gonna be so fun to watch the Joker get sick of Deadpool. Like, because Joker's usually that guy in DC, but Deadpool's gonna be 10 times more annoying and weird than the Joker ever is, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that'll be fun.
His ability to wear down anybody is unparalleled.
Oh, indeed. All right, let's see. What do we got next? Oh, I'll let you take this one, Mr. X-Man. Tell us about the X-Men Age of Revelation coming up in October, and I don't know what you're hyped about.
Yeah, so Age of Revelation, new event that's launching in October. They put out the issue number 0 to kind of set the events in motion. Um, the events also are so basically, this event is branching off from current X-Men run.
Right.
So it is all starting from current day, the modern Marvel comics, and then it's going to immediately go into an alternate point forward, where he has been known as Cypher before, but he's going to take on the name of Revelation. Um, but yeah, he's the son of Apocalypse, and he has gone away from being this, the heir of Apocalypse, and he has been with the X-Men in current times. And if you did not know Swampy when you were reading this, it's something I didn't know immediately, but his power, he has the ability to persuade any sentient mind. And so in every one of it makes perfect sense. Like early on in the comic, he goes to Cyclops and he's like, "Hey, we need to go to and strike this shield facility and do this." And Cyclops right away is just like, "Yes, we do." He's manipulating everybody and getting them to go along with doing what he wants to do, and he goes along. He goes and gets Sabian Cortez, who his power amplifies other mutants around him. And then he uses that ability to amplify that on a mass scale. And additionally, it unlocks, it puts people into, not only does it enhance your power, but it tends to unlock it into another stratosphere. Um, Most famously is when Magneto and Cortez were paired together, and it allowed Magneto to do just absolute incredible things, like entire like move the planet and the moon and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, it's launching with so it jumps 10 years into the future, and just kind of sets up this alternate future where there has been a virus that is killing. It's extremely fatal, and it targets mutants. Or no, it was targeting humans. Or was it humans and mutants? Oh boy. I think it was both. But what it was doing was it was turning like humans into like giving them mutant powers, like they were like people. Oh shit. I think I need to go back and double check on
People in the
some of the
streets.
events on this one.
Well, basically, let's just, long story short, it's crazy post-apocalyptic X-Men is what I'm gathering from all this. Where
Yeah,
yeah, and this guy Revelation is the son of Apocalypse. So this is
correct.
really
Yeah.
this is really post-apocalypse, post-age of apocalypse, correct? Like,
So yeah, this is just coming up on the 30-year anniversary of the original Age of Apocalypse storyline, and
gotcha.
so it's a fun little way to revisit that, celebrate it, but completely write a brand new storyline. And there are 16 new titles that are coming out in October that are going to flesh this storyline out. My understanding is they are replacing their respective mainline story books for that month or so. So you won't have to you won't be like they're like the X-23 book, Sabretooth in October or whatever is the same series as the X-20 Laura Kinney Wolverine series, from my understanding. So they're just rebranding all of those. So I think those
Awesome.
titles are put on hold on their main series, so you won't have to collect a whole bunch, which will be nice. But I think
That's
it'll be a fun little series to kind of launch Marvel, or at least X-Men, into their new phase, which has left them in kind of a gimpy state since the end of Krakoa era in 2024.
yeah, from what I understand, watching different people on YouTube and scouring it, it seems like the X-Men stuff is kind of not in the best state right now. A lot of people are not too happy with it. The post-Krakoa era has been a little bit of a mess. Not with every single X-Men member's book across the board, because I mean, we have both liked Wolverines and Deadpools, for example. We'll probably talk about that later. Correct? That's on your list. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So we'll get into that later. But yeah, it's good to see Marvel maybe saying, "Oh, let's go back to the drawing board." I'm sure longtime fans are sick of restarts over and over again because I do hear those
I
rumblings too. But
yeah.
um, yeah, it's
I
a
think the
hard
vibe is
balance to
this.
hit.
The Krakoa era saw what basically lasted close to 6 years. And it led to the biggest experimentation within the X-Men. They changed a whole bunch of stuff for lore wise, characters who they mainlined and featured. Um, and it led to, honestly, from what I can gather, some of their most successful stories and large defining events, House of M and
Fall of
Hellfire
X.
Gala and Fall of X. All of these things are all in this era that are widely regarded. So, with that era coming to a conclusion in 2024, I feel like, yeah, it's like they had 6 years of just like running this greatness, uh, putting them in a completely different light that we've, come accustomed to, where the mutants, you know, built their own society and they lived in a perfect utopia and they had their own government but they were doing a lot of shady stuff and working secret deals, and they had kill switches installed via genes, and to
So,
wipe people out. And
so what you're saying is
they
the mutants continue to be their own worst enemy.
ex- ultimately they were given their all their creative freedom to live their perfect life, and yeah, they became still the thing that led humanity to absolutely fear them, which ultimately led to their utter destruction and downfall.
Yeah, we can't trust
And
humanity.
now
They're going to want to kill us whenever they want. So let's go start our own society. But we're all pretty dangerous, so let's make sure we give the ability to kill people whenever we want in case they get out of hand. Like, yeah, that's wild.
Yep. Yeah, so it just kind of brings us to yeah, where the X-Men are and where a fun little place where to take them, because in the current storyline of One World Under Doom, like, the X-Men are largely mostly displaced, fall of Krakoa. The teams that are still going, they've moved to Alaska and they're kind of hiding there and trying to stay off the radar, doing their stuff. They do get involved in the One World Under Doom briefly. They're suckered in um,
Well, yeah, we'll
with the
talk about it at
Avengers.
another point because there's
Yeah,
not time today. But I mean, we both read Weapon X Men,
agreed.
and let's leave our opinions at the door for now. Plenty of discussion later,
Yep,
but yeah, like
agreed.
that's totally a book that was. Yeah, I got the vibe. Like, but they just yeah, like let's just get into our next topic. Like we're talking about getting
Agreed.
into, and I guess we'll start with Marvel because we're already talking about it. But getting into it as a new reader, me and Machio here, Mr. Ralph Macchio, we both got back into comics this year after loving them for on and off spots throughout our life to varying degrees. But we're both having a very heavy renaissance, being monthly, weekly purchasers, of different books. And yeah, getting back into Marvel was odd. One World Under Doom seems cool, but like the book that I started with, Weapon X Men, it was a terrible intro to anything that was going on. I was like, the world is run by Doctor Doom and he's all powerful. Okay, so why are you still afraid to go in his country? Shouldn't you be afraid to be anywhere? Like, I don't know.
Oh,
It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff there, and I can't wait to read it later. But it seems like we're on the tail end of it, so I don't want to dip too much deeper than I already am, I'm gonna probably stick with
yeah.
Deadpool's and Wolverines, and I want to get into Laura Kinney Wolverine too. But yeah, yeah. It's just in a really weird place, and we'll get into my feelings about how DC is handling things right now. But you're a way bigger, like, just to be clear, anybody, like, I like DC a lot, probably more than Marvel right now, and Machio's the same. But I mean, the opposite of me, with liking Marvel a lot more than DC. And that's just who we are. But we're not tribalists about this stuff. And I may seem critical, but everybody goes through ebbs and flows. Like, there's points I stopped reading comics and when I was a DC buyer, and so it was their fault at that time. You know what I mean? Like, so I mean, so just to be clear, I'm not doing tribalism thing when I critique. Like, I'm still buying books from both of these companies, but yeah, Marvel just seems like it's in a weird place to jump in. It's like they're doing so much epic storytelling with a lot of the One World Under Doom stuff that it's hard to find a place to get in. Weapon X-Men, like I said, was weird. The new Fantastic Four, was like, oh, okay, I get it. But then it was like, well, Emperor Doom teleported them through time, and I'm just like, okay, that ties in. I understand he's that powerful. That's pretty cool. But we're also not dealing with a lot of that stuff, which is fine too. But I felt that was a good intro, and then Wolverines and Deadpool's felt like another good intro to that stuff because it was very clear that both of them are trying to fly under the radar to a certain degree and just do hero shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, but I don't know. How have you fared? You've bought more books than me. How have you felt they've tied into One World Under Doom? I mean, we'll get to Gods later because I know you're going to talk about that this week, and that's a direct tie-in. So besides that, before that, like, how are you feeling? Are you feeling similar to me, or do you feel a little more comfortable because you're more knowledgeable about a lot of these characters, or how are your feet getting wet?
Yeah, so jumping in, yeah, it's a little bit at first a little daunting, but so I've been spending a lot of my time going and understanding the major events from the last multiple years and where everybody's sitting at to really have a greater context on the books that we're checking out now and the One World Under Doom to figure out exactly where things are. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately, your experience, you jumped in on a series that basically doesn't really tie in at all to the One World Under Doom outside of just kind of mentioning Latveria or whatever, but which is a shame. So it has given you an experience that you don't know what's going on. The only way to truly get that is the series, the title, One World Under Doom, which I think issue number 7-ish is about to come out, or 8. Or you can just get the summaries on YouTube and watch the fun little videos that show you all the cool panels, and you get to see some pretty amazing things.
Hmm.
Like Doom riding on a Tyrannosaurus Rex called the Doomosaurus Rex that he took from an alternate reality that all the heroes and villains are dinosaurs in this world. And he went there and took the Doom version of him and brought it to this world
I love that
and
shit.
came riding in on it. It was dope as hell. Um,
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah.
I'm glad that Marvel
So
is doing shit like that. That makes me happy to hear because
so
they did get me with a big robot and one of the, Weapon
yeah,
X-Men, but
yeah.
some
Yeah,
of the
that
other
giant
villains in
kaiju.
there, I was just like, is this really what we're doing here?
Yeah.
But that sounds cool as hell.
So the gist is, and I'll keep it the most basic as possible, is basically Marvel's gone a major event into major event, which was Blood Hunt into One World Under Doom. So to kind of understand what is occurred now in One World Under Doom, you have to kind of know a little bit about Blood Hunt, and essentially with Blood Hunt, Blade becomes possessed. So harkens the dark energy, blacks out the sun and the world. The vampires roam free. All the tribes in Marvel Comics, there are literally, I guess, dozens of tribes or types of vampires or blah blah blahs. Um, and yeah, they start basically. There's a whole bunch that are like energy suckers, and they're like they're absorbing and they're taking people's powers. So there's pretty phenomenal stuff. Like you see Blade fight and bite Miles Morales. Miles is one of the first people that gets converted. You get to see a cool uh, Blade kills Stephen Strange. he stabs him from behind because Doctor Strange didn't expect Blade to do that. Um,
The Eye of Agamotto did not see this one coming.
well, he was there with his wife Clea, and she casted a spell and saved his soul. So for the rest of that storyline, Stephen Strange is a ghost perusing along with Clea on the adventure. Um, ultimately, what the resolution had to be was Doctor. They go to Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom asks for the Sorcerer Supreme powers, and ultimately Strange relinquishes it under these terms that once when things are blah 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 done, you're gonna give it back. But of course, he don't give it back. So rolling into One World Under Doom, it takes place like 6 months after that. He is now Sorcerer Supreme Doom. Um, and One World Under Doom opens up where basically he broadcasts his image across in the sky to all the citizens of the world. And he announces that all the governments of the world have agreed to relinquish their powers to Doom. Everyone is going to continue living their lives, but Doom now is in control of all the governments. And what you will get is like free education and free healthcare. And he's saying, like, he's basically going with all these populist ideas that, like, yeah, they've been screwing you over forever, and they're taking everything from you so that they can do what they want with this world. And Doom doesn't want any of that. Doom is above all of that. So, you know, side with Doom, prosper under Doom, like all this cool ass stuff. And basically, um, citizens of the world are kind of like, well, that's crazy. He's offering us all this stuff, but he's also Doom. And how many times has he tried to conquer us and do this and do that? Um, the Avengers are like, that something's up. How does every world leader do this? Clearly, they've been brainwashed or replaced by Doombots. And so they start investigating all this stuff, and they find out the world leaders haven't been replaced and they're not been brainwashed. Scarlet Witch does like all this like temporal scans and trying to figure all this stuff out. And ultimately, Doom, like via casting all of his magic and putting a barrier on Latveria, took the whole barrier that is traditionally on the planet down, and now Dormammu has invaded, and he's like a giant demon. You might remember him from, he was in the Doctor Strange movie at the end, but he's got a whole long backstory that we can't really get into. But he's just he's you know a god from another, a watcher from another realm. Watcher's not a right word, but anyhow, so yeah, he comes, and then the Avengers and Fantastic Four are basically suckered into these moments to make them look like terrorists or look bad to the peoples of the world. They're set up by Doom and all these different scenarios to just look utterly bad. And the people of the world don't side with them, and they're starting to see Doom more and more like he's the guy. And yeah, Dormammu comes, and now Doom talks remnants of the Avengers and a couple of the X-Men together, and now Doom and the Doomosaurus Rex and the Avengers, and they fight Dormammu and defeat him and these demons from hell, which was pretty cool. Doom summoned Wolverine's claws and shot optic beams out of his eyes. It was pretty sick. He like summoned various people's powers, and just, it was a bunch of cool imagery. Um, so yeah, that's kind of, it's still going on. It's not finished. But that is where we are at in that event right now. So
I see.
more to come.
Very complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah, so I'm glad that I'm not like wrong. It does feel like a lot getting into Marvel as a new reader right now. There's just so much going on and so much depth and background to the stuff that I feel like I'm just not understanding half of the references. And
The
you
cool
know,
thing that I now know, though, real quick though, that I have seen from a couple people's point of views, and I do agree. If you don't want to focus on the bigger, honestly, most of the books outside of X-Men stay relatively the same. You can jump into a Spider-Man 975 or whatever issue is out right now because they're approaching 1,000.
of one of
You know,
11 series.
yeah, exactly. Most characters, their mythos don't change. Their things about them don't change. The Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Spider-Man, Thor. Yeah, there's minor differences from here or there, but ultimately, those teams, those stories, those characters, you can jump into modern day or to 1985 or to 1965 and largely come away with, you know, uh, you get it. Now, I say with X-Men, though, X-Men is probably the one team that really is so different because the roster's so large. They fluctuated a lot. Um, and to be honest, out of all of the Marvel books, they seem to have the biggest events that alter and have permanence that resonate through the legacy issues. And yes, X-Men's on the current third volume, but they're all part of the same legacy story. So, if you know Days of Future Past, Rise of the Phoenix, House of M, all these things, they connect and those characters connect. And so X-Men is pretty daunting in that fact. You really just got to seek out some of the core principal stories and then find the runs that you like from the writers and the artists.
Gotcha. Well, moving over to the DC side of things, I had a really easy time getting into it, even though my kind of, besides Green Lantern and some Superman stuff, and then maybe Swamp Thing, you know, a lot of my knowledge with DC was very much less than Marvel, but I'm already like way like there's something that they do where it just feels a lot more simple, and it's not at the cost of interpersonal relationships or anything like that. I think like they change a lot slower. You know what I mean? Like so many people in Marvel seem, you could throw out their their body count, so to speak, with like other superheroes, and some of those lists are pretty long. And it's not that way in DC. They like it doesn't have the crazy, constantly changing ebb and flow of Marvel, and I think I'm a little more comfortable with that most of the time. I like constants, like the X-Men, for example. Like, I bet you if you said, like, here's a picture of the official X-Men right now, I wouldn't be able to name half the characters. It's just
Yeah.
changing all the time, and then it's just like, oh, this is like, or like Weapon X-Men. It just felt like I don't know. It was like, do people really like Chamber? Is that a thing, or are we just
I don't think
filling
so.
filling a roster here? Like, but anyway, it was really easy to get into DC and the history of everything that's happened. Like a few years ago, there was the Dark Knights metal and death metal events that I kind of mentioned earlier in our DCKO portion. And those events, from what I understand, were big multiversal, crazy, dark universe stories that I didn't read. I've just kind of gone over the outline of them. But essentially, after those wrapped up, the multiverse was kind of closed off. And so it allowed DC to kind of do a soft, not a reboot of everything, but just a restart of current stuff. And they did it under this banner called Dawn of DC. And that led up to an event called Absolute Power, where Amanda Waller, the head of the Suicide Squad, found a way to steal everybody's superpowers. And a lot of the ways that she did it came from mainly Superman, that main comic, but a bunch of other ones too. and it was real. It gave the event this huge, cool moment where it started with Superman getting shot as he was trying to stop a bank robbery and falling to the ground, you know, because something zapped his powers away, and the heroes are just on the run and being hunted down without their powers, and eventually they beat the big bad and they get their powers back, and they decide, hey, Justice League hasn't been a thing. We disbanded it after the whole nasty crisis that we dealt with. Um, let's restart it, but let's do it big this time. And so they start the Justice League Unlimited, where they basically invite every single superhero on the Earth and that they know of in space, even some of them, to partake in the Justice League Unlimited, which is going to sit on a big, huge space station called the Watchtower, and bigger than the Watchtower was in the past. I mean, like city-sized space station, and just overlook the world and help it. But Darkseid came into the fold, and it looked like through the All-In special, where they're announcing the Justice League Unlimited, that he was going to destroy the Justice League, but he wasn't trying to do that at all. In fact, Darkseid was trying to get killed, because he's the essence of evil and destruction, and the universe said, hey, you can't create and make stuff, because he was tired of being evil and destroying everything. He's like, I want to create things. Like, I'm tired of this. And they're like, no, you can't. And he's like, I'm pretty sure I can. I'm just going to go start taking out cosmic entities one by one until somebody gives me the fucking answer. Like, and so he does that, and then he ends up getting transported to the Justice League through some cool machinations that I don't want to totally spoil, because I want you to read that special at some point. Um, but yeah, Darkseid dies, and his essence is scattered into the universe, and he's happy about this, because then he gets to infect this primordial Earth called the Elseworld that's just been sitting all on its own on the borders of our multiverse, and he influences it with his nasty evil energy, and it becomes the universe where the absolute line of stories take place. Now, it was really easy to jump in when I did, because it was pretty close to that All-In special. So a lot of stories were just like off to the races, and absolute power will describe just what that is in basic conversation of just like, oh yeah, that since I got my powers back after Waller took them, and then it'll be like, see, absolute power, like, you know. And it was just really easy to understand and jump into, and along with their mainline stuff, like I was immediately buying Green Lantern as my main comic, and I love Green Lantern, and it was really good, and I was a little lost, I will admit, like getting into Green Lantern at first, like I picked the right issues, but it was still like, yeah, but this stuff over here we were kind of dealing with during Absolute Power, because we were up in space, so we had this other thing going on, and I had to go back and read about that, which I was glad I did, but there was so much context I would have missed had I not been able to just subscribe to the app and go back and check that out. And the same with some of the stuff that's going on in Superman. Well, it's really easy to understand. I'm super glad that I have the context for, oh, that's where the red kryptonite thing came from, and oh, that's who this ghostly cowgirl is that seems like a hero, but sometimes maybe an anti-hero. Just there's lots of cool stuff going on, but it was really easy to jump in, and everything's been really cohesive, kind of like you were mentioning with you know, the One World Under Doom stuff, where there's a few series that really focus on the main of what's going on, although there isn't an all-in series. I mean, technically it's Superman. Like, the Superman stuff since the all-in special has all been centered on the fallout of this stuff going on. Like, he's definitely the centerpiece of everything that's going on right now. And yeah, they've done a really good job of making you feel like all this stuff in the background really matters. Like, it's affecting people, and it's gonna come to a head. Like, things aren't fixed at all. Like, but everybody's just trying to continue and hero on. But man, oh man, like, yeah. But it's been a lot of fun. Like, and there's also been a lot of mini series that that are just easy to jump into, and self-contained stories that might reference it here or there, but they aren't totally essential. And I feel like I maybe missed some of those, like Wolverine Revenge. Like, I have issue 5 of it. It was given as a freebie, like I showed you from one of my comic book stores that I go to. But yeah, like, I don't know. Like I'm really, like earlier we were talking about Age of Revelation. I'm really excited about that stuff. I'm really excited to check that stuff out and see what it's all about, and then hopefully that kind of provides a jumping off point that's a little better for me than the current books that I've tried, and even the ones that I've enjoyed. Like it just doesn't. Yeah, basically it was just the one. It was a bad choice of a first book, wouldn't you say? Weapon X-Men was a
Yeah.
bad choice of a. Yeah, because I didn't
Yeah.
feel that way with
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, and I didn't feel that way with Wolverines and Deadpools, but I did not like that. While we're talking about jumping into Marvel, I told you this earlier, but I'm jumping in at a really fun point here. The Marvel Knights line is going again. I'm getting into The World to Come. A really cool story about Wakanda and Black Panther and his son. And yeah, I hope this whole World to Come thing is a really cool way to label an era of books, because this is what they need to do. Like it was so easy for and you see it on the One World Under Doom stuff too, but not every cover has it. Like you buy variants that don't have that at all, so it seems confusing.
Hmm.
But I really hope because I've noticed on the Punisher series that's coming out in October that it has the Marvel Knights, the World to Come, like it's a part of this future that's going on in this book. And I really hope they start doing stuff like that a little more, because they've been really good about labeling all the stuff that matters with current DC, the Absolute Universe, with All In on the label. Like, the Absolute books all have All In. The mainline Superman has All In. Superman Batman World's Finest does not have All In. Batman and Robin Year One does not have All In, because those aren't anything to do with the current stuff. That's all past stuff or whatever. Or Immortal Legend Batman isn't going to be an All In book, because that's way in the future, all on its own, you know? Like, so I hope Marvel kind of starts doing that a little more, even on their alt covers, like finding out like that little X right there. Which way should I point? Yeah, if I point this way, that X right there next to Age of Revelation, that should be the logo that's on variant covers or whatever that tells you this is an Age of Revelation story. Like this is in this timeline. Like, and they should have had like just Doom's little eyes under every single Marvel logo, variant cover and all, that where it's One World Under Doom. That's such an easy way to do it, you know? Like,
Hmm.
and I hope they follow suit, because DC has made it really easy to get in, like, and they've nailed it and done a good job. And there's great books on both sides, but yeah, I'm really happy with it, and I'm not unhappy with Marvel. Like me and Machio found out, I just got in with kind of a bad intro book, is all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Into a very complicated and deep and story-rich era, mind you. Like it seems like everybody
Yeah.
likes One World Under Doom. Maybe there's books from certain teams that people are not high on at the moment, but One World Under Doom seems like a success overall, and it feels cool as hell, honestly. So there. But yeah, I think that's oh, we talked a long time there. Let's see, next up we got back issue show and tell. I think I'll go first, because I will admit yours is a little cooler, right? The one
It's
I
cool. It's
Yeah, it's the one I
it's
gave
pretty
you.
cool.
Okay, okay. But I would like to show off. It's not worth a whole lot, but it's a very important book, I feel, for this character, with a very cool alt cover art by Alex Ross. And anyway, this is a #1 of Jeff Johns' Green Lantern run from 2005. This book hit the reset button. I mean, there was a mini series right before this called Green Lantern Rebirth that really kind of was Jeff Johns fixing the 90s era fumbling that they did with Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern character, and brought everything back to good basics to give this fantastic starting point to one of the best eras of any comic book character ever. I mean, the Jeff Johns stuff is just so legendary, and brought Hal back to being a full good guy, brought him back to being a Green Lantern, brought him back to having the friends that he had, brought him back to being the character that he always had the potential to be, but like really just set him permanent. Like this is what defined Hal Jordan, I think, in the modern era. Like, there was stories beforehand where, it was really clear that he was an imperfect guy, and but then there was like origin stories where he ends up killing somebody in a drunk driving accident and doesn't feel any redemption for it. And this doesn't do away with that origin as much as it just ignores it completely and then gets into Hal's origin like 30 or so issues into this run and calls for a little series called Green Lantern Secret Origin, where they're like, okay, here's how it really went down, and just, I don't know, this is just a watershed moment for a character that I really like, and was the start of a highly enjoyed and applauded comic book run. Jeff Johns' Green Lantern is fantastic from 2005 to 2010 or 9 or whenever it was. Like, great stuff. And I'm in the middle of reading it right now, and I'm almost to Blackest Night, which is one of the coolest events ever, and we will cover it at some time. But yeah, and the Green Lantern core book that goes along with it is so cool. I mean, it's just so rich with lore and character and heart, and yeah. Anyway, that's my pick. Machio, what did you pick, good sir?
Yeah. As you alluded to, it's going to, well, surprise, but I I had two different books that I wanted to possibly show off on the first one. Trying to debate, do I go with favorite or most pivotal, or you know, ultimately what I decided to do in this first episode is to show off the book that probably just got me absolutely going and in love with comics. And I want to show off, it is the X-Men #1, Volume 2. Um,
I need you to.
this that I'm showing here is,
Can you?
oh, yep,
There we go.
yep.
Yeah,
Now this is cover E. Why I
yeah.
want to show this one first
That's the
here
one. That's the one I had
is
when I was a kid.
this is OG E. I bought this back in 1991.
From the book
Um,
rack.
no, this was in California.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it has, what is that? 34 years. Started collecting at 8 years old, and it's just such a testament that it has survived this long. It isn't nearly in perfect shape. It does have a what appears to be a coffee stained corner somehow. Don't know how, but um, still, it is just amazing that it has lasted so long. That my 8-year-old self was able to cherish it and take care of it. It started my love for X-Men, Wolverine. The X-Men cartoon series was on fire at that time. And
Ba-da-la-la-la-la.
exactly. Maybe this was just ahead of that, but still, yeah, I love. Now, the Jim Lee era is a little contentious to hardcore X-Men fans, but I love this era. It's just so meaningful to me, and you know, as Swampy alluded to last weekend when I met up with him, he surprised me with this beauty of a variant cover, autographed by Mr. Claremont. It's
Yeah.
stunning. It's stunning. Not gonna lie, it is beautiful. I
Shout
don't know
out
how
to
to
Yeah
say it more.
Comics in Yakima, Washington for having that. Yeah Comics in Yakima, Washington. If you're ever down there, stop by that store. Done with my plug.
Absolutely love this issue. And in the next episode, I will hit you with the singles issue. It also comes from this run that I consider probably my favorite comic of all time.
Okay, well then I will try to pull my favorite comic of all time next week. That's awesome. All right. Well, let's move on. We're going to go through some quick comic reviews, right? We don't want to spend too much time on these.
Yep.
We really had a
I
big
want you to buy
middle
the
of the
book.
show. That was great. But let's get started. I think what's first is for me. There we go. Soaring into Summer with DC's California Love. Um, I'm enjoying the Summer of Superman. If you're watching any of my solo videos, you'll definitely see me. That's a marketing term that totally worked on me, and I love saying it because I'm having so much fun during it. I, of course, let's see, where's my? I have my stack down here. There it is. I, of course, I'm a big fan of Miss Kara Zor-El, so I had to get that Supergirl variant. Oh, indeed. Looking cool in
Cool.
California as hell. And this is just a collection of 8 different stories. There's one page in here I wanted to show off. But it's just 8 different stories about, everybody from Lois Lane and Superman, obviously, to Power Girl and Ice hanging out, or Steel and his niece Natasha going on vacation together. Um, Jonathan Kent and Connor, Superboy Connor Kent, are hanging out in the woods trying to find an old friend of Connor's. And my personal favorite is this Bizarro story where Bizarro finds out about Hollywood and totally tries to become an actor. And he has this cat that he found that he just keeps on hanging out with, and he takes improv classes, and it's really silly and dumb. And there's just this sweet moment at the end where he's Bizarro saying, "Why am me always square peg in round world? Why am me not worthy of love?" And then the cat is just meowing with a little piece of paper in its mouth, and he says, "Me not need that mittens. Me am no actor. Me am no Superman," because he really failed hard at a Superman audition because he wants to be Superman. And I just pretend story anyway. No help for real world. And then he reads this little piece of the script that the cat gave him, and it's Lex Luthor asking him, "Why do you fight for humanity?" And he says, it says, "I defend them because I can, because they can grow past their fear of me, of the world, of themselves. I don't protect them so they'll love me. I protect them so they can love each other." And then there's this really sweet shot of Bizarro and the cat on the Hollywood sign together. And I don't know, it was just silly, and I did not expect a Bizarro story to make me just be like, that was really sweet. And I don't know, it was just the highlight of this book for me. So, let's pull out the old patented, or rather borrowed from DC, please don't sue me, Guy Gardner rating system. Oh, whoops, that's the Machio one, haha. And we're going to give this one 4 out of 5 Guy Gardners for DC's California. So,
Oh my god.
all right, and we're just doing these in alphabetical order. We should get better, and we'll try to do them alternating next time, I think. Um, but we got Justice League: The Dark Tomorrow special. I read this one twice. I was really high on it in my tier video. I'm not low on it now, but I'm not as high on it. This book is really fun and cool, but it's also, as much stuff happens, nothing happens in a way, which is kind of a letdown for a special, honestly. There's one fight that's pretty cool, but most of it is just kind of, hey, we need to get a team together to go do this. Oh, let's go do that. And then the people saying, "Oh, we're a weird ragtag bunch, aren't we? It's Batman Beyond from the future and the old cowboy Jonah Hex, and they don't want to, but then we convinced them, and now they will." And oh, now I guess these people are joining us too. Plastic Man's here too. And then right there, the guy in the background with the golden goggles that's screaming, that's Booster Gold. He is very important to the whole Absolute All In saga, and he's kind of trapped in the Absolute universe right now. We, the readers, know that, but nobody else does. And not only that, but he is on this really cool alternate cover. And I watched the Comic Pals podcast, and I was glad to hear them come to the same conclusion. There's none of these characters on this cover are in this book, and then like Booster Gold is like the biggest on the cover over here, and he's not in this book. So, you know, it was
Interesting.
cool. I like that it's moving the meter, but upon a second reading, I'm not feeling S tier or even 4 stars about this. Whoops. I'm getting my hotkeys down. I'm giving this one 3 stars out of 5. It's fine. It's serviceable, but it's nothing special. It's nothing I'm gonna, when I go back and reread this saga, this is something I could just thumb through or maybe even skip, because I get the gist of it, and nothing is that's said in here I currently believe is going to be that important down the line. So I don't know. It was a fun exercise in using some more obscure characters, but it was fine. Above average, but still pretty average. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But up next, we got one of your picks, Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood. You want to give your star rating first or second or after? You say a little bit.
Let's say a little bit first. Yeah, so it appears to be, say, makeup collection. I think this might have been a series that was done years ago and is now getting a Black, White, and Blood release. So
Now,
this
explain to me,
probably
as a non-Marvel reader, what is a Black, White, and Blood release?
it just appears to be a color scheme idea where yeah, essentially all three all the whole book is only comprised of those 3 colors,
Okay.
and they're artistically used um, in pretty cool ways. I would say there's with the 3 different stories, there's 3 different artists, so they all visually look different, which was very cool. Um, Now, the first
Is
story,
that Jorge or George Fornes in that second one? 'Cause I'm familiar with him. I have some
if
cool
it's
alt cover.
if
Oh,
it's
wait.
in order on the cover, then I would say yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's who did this cover that I just showed you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you will and he's the second one.
Yeah.
Well, you will like to hear that I enjoyed the second one. Um
Yes.
yeah, so the first one visually, it's just some of the panels are I'll be honest, they're visually kind of confusing because of the coloring, and well, to be honest, just some of the drawings just it just doesn't do it for me. It seems very it's definitely unique, but it doesn't seem to be, what is expected in a Marvel title. Um, I don't know. Don't think this will come out too well.
That was
No.
your background.
Not at all with the background. Um, but yeah, I didn't find the visuals great. And the story was a little confusing. It seemed to be centered on the Ra, the sun god, and it seems to kind of show the arrival of Ra to Earth, with delivering the up a pyramid. A pyramid's flying through space. So, just about 5 or 6 pages, not very long at all. Doesn't seem to really accomplish anything. Um, Not a fan of the first one. Second story, pretty cool. Um, my son, massive Spider-Man fan, will love it because it is right away in the third panel. Spider-Man pops up Moon Knight's basically perched on a building, and Spider-Man just comes up from dangling from behind him and is basically just like, "Yo, what Moon Knight? What you up to?" kind of thing. Um, but yeah, Moon Knight needs to. He's trying to accomplish. There's a artifact that's being stolen, and Spider-Man actually wants Moon Knight to do something for him. So he's like, "Yo, if I help you do this thing, can you go help me do my thing? You'd be beneficial." But art was cool, story was cool, really short. Like again, good 6 or 7 pages. Um, ultimately, oh no, it's a little bit long. Maybe it hit 8 or 9. But the last couple pages was funny because after they resolve Moon Knight's thing, basically Peter's like, um, he requested a Moon Knight suit, and so Moon Knight gave him a suit, and now he's perched up on the same building in the Moon Knight suit. And then the last 2 panels is Deadpool showing up in a bathrobe, and he and he wants the Moon Knight suit. So and then the story ends. Just kind of stupid and funny how it resolves. And the third story, visually, was kind of cool. Once again, not mainline Marvel at all, but it picks up kind of like with Moon Knight's in a snowy area of New York, recovering from wounds. He's been shot, and then there's like a bystander woman that just happens to come by, and she wants to try to help him, and all these things. And he's getting away from various assassins, red blades coming after him. Then it looks like Juggernaut um, manages to survive all these things, and then boom, he's just back chilling in his house talking to the woman who saved him. Doesn't seem to accomplish really anything.
Hmm.
In the end, I'm going to basically give this probably a 2 out of 4. Visually, it's
Out
kind
of
of cool.
5, sir. It's out of 5. Are you sure you want to
Oh,
settle on a 2?
well, no, I'm gonna go with the 3 because ultimately I did like it, but I will say that it definitely obviously it was not trying to be cohesive or any of those kinds of things, but I just found the stories even as short, like look, they can be short and still be sweet and awesome. um I just found them, besides the Spider-Man one, to be kind of whatever.
Gotcha. Right on. Let's move to our next title. We both read this one.
Yep.
I'm gonna let you get started with this since Wolverine is probably your favorite comic book character. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I'd say for sure.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
real
I
quick. Did I can't remember if I messaged you this. This is about Wolverine, and as you know, some might know, Swamp Thing is my favorite character. Go figure. Swampy's favorite character is Swamp Thing, whose nickname is Swampy. Um, but did you know that Wolverine and Swamp Thing both had a Len Wein in the hand of their creation?
yes, after you mentioned that, or
Oh, I did mention it.
yeah,
Okay, I couldn't
you
remember if
did
I
mention
said
it.
that,
Yep. Yeah,
but
that
I
was
just
pretty
thought
cool.
that was the coolest. I'm like, look at that. I mean, it's Power Man 5000 with us. This is what it's like when worlds collide, bro. All the time with you and I. Um,
Heck
but yeah,
yeah.
um, I'm I'm getting I need to head out to the living room real quick. But why don't you get started on this? I'll have my headphones on.
Yep. Um, yeah, I love this. It was great. I thought the art in particular was awesome. Um, thought it was cool that it picks up relative with the current X-Men events, Fall of Krakoa. So yeah, you kind of get the sense that everyone's displaced and Wolverine's out doing his own thing, um, doing the best at what he is. And it was cool because, you get to pair him up with a bunch of things in a storyline that he gets to slash and attack up. And so with having these like mutant abominations, it's pretty cool because yeah, you just get to let him go buck wild. And um, the the artist, particularly in the first part, because it's 2 different artists, and the first artist is known for some independent horror books, from my understanding. I'm not going to pronounce their name and tarnish their good name, but you can tell the art splits about a third in, maybe even not even that. It's probably even a quarter, which is a shame because that first artist was really slaying it. Not to say that the second one, which does, who did predominant the whole book, it was pretty. It's pretty great, to be honest. Um,
Yeah, I found
Story
that
was fun.
that finger monster absolutely horrifying. I mean,
Yeah, man.
you're kind of getting a view of it right here on the cover, but it almost looks impressionistic. But it's like, no, no, that's it's one of those covers where he's actually doing a thing that happens in the comic.
Yeah, as I'm going through and kind of reminding myself visually of some of these panels, like there's imagery I've never seen really anyone draw before. Um, these weird creatures just allows them to really just go wild with limbs and things like coming out of their necks and their backs. Um, very cool. Um, very cool. And also disturbing, to be honest. Quite a bit of disturbing imagery. So I highly recommend people to go out and pick this up. My understanding too is this was, I think this. Oh no, I'm jumping ahead of myself. It was a different Wolverine. It's the black, white, and there's another Wolverine that's a reprint from the past. But I'm excited to see where was this one shot?
No,
Or
I
is
think
that
it's a five
published?
part, 4 or 5 part
Okay,
coming out.
I
Yeah,
hope so because I dug it.
I really liked it. I thought it was fun, and this is my favorite type of Wolverine. Is Logan in his bomber jacket going around just slashing shit and killing stuff, and on his motorcycle. Like, this is my favorite type of Wolverine. I'm all about it. And so I was all about to read this, all about reading this and picking it up. And I did like it a lot. There's a funny. I loved this little bit right here, just nailing how short Logan is.
Oh, yep.
Just all hunched over like a little guy. Um, and then this shot over here. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? When he's fighting, the first time he fights the finger monsters in the hotel. And then when they're about to be, when they know they're defeated, like how this one reaches up and cracks its own neck. I was just like, ooh,
Yeah,
that's foul.
yeah,
Um, but honestly, my
yeah.
one gripe with this book is kind of a big one. I hated the paneling in this book. And I know that it's
Mm,
kind of an uphill battle, adapting an online only that's right. That's what this was, right? Some sort of online comic.
yes, that's what I was trying to reference. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
but
I.
it really leads for some of these panels feeling really underwhelming, especially on, is it the first page? Yeah, the first panel of the first page is just so terrible. Look at all that action that's happening, and it's so small. I'm not
Yeah.
getting it into focus, right? But yeah, like,
Well,
I was
nice.
just like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like, but I get it. They're packing a lot into this book. You know, it's a thick one. Like, I didn't expect this to feel as
Yeah. It's
weighty as it
very thick.
does. But
Yep.
yeah, I really liked it. I really like this guy that you meet. That it turns out he's a mutant that never wanted to go to Krakoa. He was like, no, I like my home, and I'd rather just nobody knew, and I just don't use my powers, and that's how I'm gonna live. You know. In the story, he eventually has to, and but yeah, I really liked that flavor of things, you know?
Mhm.
Like, there are some mutants out
Yeah.
there that, like, no, I don't want anything to do with mutant society. I like being a human and I can hide here just fine, actually. So I'm just gonna do that, you know? Like, and it's, nice that he has that privilege, and Wolverine doesn't hold it against him either. He's like, are you gonna tell people that I'm out here? He's like, no, dude, it's not like that. Like, I'll let the mutants hunt
Then
you
he
down.
gives him Gives him five out of 6
Oh,
beers and moves
5.
on.
That's right. That's right, because he drank one earlier and then he got interrupted
Yeah,
in the middle of it.
yeah, it's pretty funny.
But what's your rating for Savage Wolverine?
I'm giving it a 5 out of 5.
Oh, okay.
If there was any criticisms, like, yeah, you can, yeah, I agree. Some of the paneling was weird, whereas some of the paneling was also amazing at the same time. And, but yeah, it was, like you said, the perfect kind of Wolverine storyline. And to be honest, most of his main line is kind of like this.
Yeah. In all honesty,
All
if I
right,
could, I'd give this one a 3.5. But I'm an enthusiastic fan, and I err on the side of positivity, so it's getting 4 from me.
there you go.
So let's go over to our next. Oh, this is one you read. Tell me about Spider-Man and Wolverine.
This one will be super quick because I did not read this one yet. This is issue number 3. Did pick it up. However, I missed issue number 2. And this is a series that my son, 8-year-old Spider-Man enthusiast, and my daughter, comic enthusiast as well now. We've been reading it together. So more updates to come.
Excellent. Can't wait to hear more about it. What do you get? Let's, just for the heck of it, the 2 issues that you have read so far. What would you give them on a star rating? Let's put some Deadpool or some head pools up here. What do we got? Honestly.
Hey, so far we're kind of like in the 3.5, the 3 to
Okay.
4 Deadpool, at least for the initial issue.
Well, let's just have it a policy that we err on the side of positivity because there's so much criticism
Do
in
it.
the comic book space, and it's a lot more fun to just like stuff unless it's really
Let's go with the
horrible.
4 because it's certainly, as I told you a week ago, it was a
Well,
fun,
if
fun
it's
little story.
3.5, it gets an extra 0.5 for having Wolverine in that costume. So,
Yeah, exactly.
all right,
Yeah, and Symbiote Spider-Man, arguably the favorite
coolest.
Spider-Man. So
Oh yeah, Star Trek Red Shirts. I read this one this week. This one came out a few weeks ago. I want to pull it here. Hold on a sec. Let me pull it. It's not in my stack. I knew exactly where it was. It's so good. I don't even have it filed alphabetically. It's just sitting at the front of Indie. But I was shocked at how much I liked this book. This was my pick of the week on my tier list. Um, and I think it came out last week technically, but I was filling the roster, and so I just read it this week. I love it. I love it.
cool
It's
cover.
it's darker Star Trek, and it's like original series era Star Trek, and it's a little more gritty, but it's not edgy. It's not trying to be harsh, or it's not trying to be vulgar or violent. And it isn't vulgar or anything. You know what I mean, though. When it's sometimes it's like, oh, here's a harder edge take, and it's just like, oh, everybody's just mad and unlikable, and there's lots of blood and sexy costume. Like, this is not that. This is original series Star Trek. This is about the people that get the shit end of the stick in Starfleet and have to work security and go out and do some of the most dangerous stuff. And we're dealing with some spies stuff here, which makes it a little more interesting. Like the stuff that everybody's going to have to go out and do, going to be a little more espionage like. But here the book opens up and you meet 12 characters, and a good chunk of them are dead by the end of this first issue. It's pretty cool. Like, and it just feels like it has a lot of weight. And I mean, like I said, I was shocked at how much I really liked this. Like, just the first issue, I was like, okay, I cannot wait till the next. Yeah, I'm really high on red shirts, dude. This is good stuff. So you can tell by my giggling enthusiasm. We're gonna go 5. Whoa, whoops, wrong. There we go. 5 whole Gardner heads. 5 whole
Certainly
ones.
gets 5 for the cover.
Oh yeah, the cover's so good. I love how the little Starfleet logos floating off there. And it's cool that the cover, like, it shows that, and you see the big claw slashing across that uniform. I love it when covers kind of hint at something but don't do it directly. And I mean, here's the first page.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
our main character getting slashed with claws. Like,
there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. But yeah, this is one that I'm definitely going to be probably in the long haul for if it maintains through the first couple of issues. Like, yeah, I'm excited. It's always fun when you know discover something new and unexpected that you just kind of take a chance on, you know, and yeah, really happy about it. Let's see what our next book is. Oh, there's another one of mine. The Thing issue 3. I've really been liking this mini series so far. It's just the Thing trying to do some good around Yancey Street. And there's a bunch of supervillains from Bullseye all the way down to the Wrecking Crew that are a little stronger than usual and proving to be more of a problem for old Ben Grimm than they usually would be. And you know, as you can see in the background of this cover, we got Kingpin, and he's kind of the big background villain of this story. And this is the issue where Kingpin puts out a $10 million bounty on the Thing's head. So you have like so many of the supervillains in New York just trying to come after him. And during all of this, Ben is trying to save this little girl and keep her safe. And yeah, it's this book's full of character. It's full of fun. Like this is one of those comic booky ass comic books that I'm like, this is why we read comic books. Like, and there's been a lot of that this year, but this one is just, yeah, like, yeah, you know, if you're not gonna pick up these issues, Machio, I suggest keeping in mind that trade paperback when it comes out because this is fun. Like, you know, and I think it'd be fun to read with the kids too. Like, if they'd be interested in the Thing. Like, it's just a fun, down to earth caper, and
Cool.
yeah, really excited. So we're gonna keep Guy Gardner right where he is. We're gonna keep 5 stars for the Thing. I've been happy about every single issue of this series thus far. Let's see next. I'll be real quick here because it's another one of mine. The Vision and Scarlet Witch 3. This story is a cool, complicated love story between two exes. I mean, it's technically not a love story, but it clearly is. And they're dealing with the Grim Reaper, and the Grim Reaper opening a bunch of devil's doors or death's doors all over the world. And they have to enter his dimension in order to try and defeat him. And he's putting all these weird, crazy, psychedelic tasks ahead of them. And I would draw a lot of comparisons from this comic to DC's Zatanna miniseries that just wrapped up. It was done by Jamal Campbell, written and drawn by Jamal Campbell, who is, you know, one of my top favorite artists right now. But this is another comic with a lot of heart and fun and whimsy, and I'm really into, like, I've really come to really like magic-based superpowers and stuff, and Scarlet Witch being that kind of mutant is great. And there's lots of like fun, like big pictures. Like this is during a sequence where they have to do a dance correctly, or else bad things will happen. And they're like kind of going through their memories together, and yeah, like cool little montage where they like see the family that they would have had they not fallen out of love and split up, and they actually have to live through that and just deal with it. And yeah. And all the while, you know, Vision has just died and been resurrected. I tried to be quick with this one, but I'm just describing it more and more. Anyway, yeah, it's a been fun, magic-y story, and I'm super into magic comic books, and I wasn't too high on issue 1, but I kept going with it, and I'm glad that I did. I'm really liking this one so far, and I hope it keeps getting better. Um, you know, it's not a total classic though, so let's just, you know, 4 out of 5 Guy Gardner heads for that one. Yeah.
Okay, so the series is improving then.
Yes, for
So I
sure,
know
for sure. Yeah, 2 and
he's
3
starting
were
off with
really good
gold.
issues. 1 was like, okay, I feel a little lost. I don't know, but then by 2 and 3 I'm just into the flow, and I'm like, all right, this is fun. I like it. And the art's great. Like, yeah, I really am enjoying it. Next up, Wolverines and Deadpools. We both read this, but I'll let you take the helm on this one.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. I was not familiar with the Lady Deadpool child, Ellie Camacho. So I'm not aware of that relationship and really at all what that is about. It seems to be maybe an actual biological child of Wade Wilson, but I don't know.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, wouldn't put it past him that he was fathering children with women all over. But yeah, so I don't know the details there, but she seems cool. I like the premise of getting the characters wrapped up together, the foursome. That was pretty funny how Deadpool is using this opportunity as a best friend dad retreat, get their meet their daughters, let them be best friends kind of scenario. As you talked about at another time, Laura Kinney's pretty freaking cool. Um,
And
and
this was my besides the Logan movie, this is my intro to her. Like, is this
yeah,
comic? This is the first Laura Kinney comic that I read, and I instantly fell in love with her. Went and checked out videos about her, and I'm just like, oh, she's kind of one of the coolest things in Marvel, isn't she? Okay, good to know. Like, I think she's great. Like, I can't wait to read
and
more
they
of her. I hope my opinion holds high still, as I do.
and her and Logan have a really nice relationship. And I really like the relationship that they're putting out in this issue in this comic so far. Um, art was great, pretty fantastic. Um, like I
And
said,
Cody
I'm a
Cody
fan.
Ziegler wrote this, right?
Yep, and as we talked about, we weren't a fan of the Weapon X-Men,
Yeah.
which they also wrote. Now, as we talked about privately, maybe they just didn't know what to do and how to write for Cable because that's single-handedly who we had like the biggest issues with in that series.
Yeah. Ellen Chamber.
But
Well, we'll talk about it later.
it-
We don't need to get into
yeah,
it.
yeah, Chamber 2, but
I really want to
yeah,
get into it, but we should.
exactly. But yeah, I thought it was great. A really fun start and real interested to see where this goes. I think it's going to be one of the better team up miniseries or whatever this is going to be. So I'm putting
For
it
sure.
4 out of 5 right now.
It's off to a banger start of them just going to help a village filled with evil monsters or zombies or something. Like, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Wrapping it back up, the villain Shadow King. Shadow King is legit,
Okay.
super awesome, classic X-Men villain. One of the um, origin villains that's imperative to Storm's story. Um, where has tried to imprison her, so because she is a god, and Shadow King's a super strong telepath that only basically is rivaled by Xavier and Jean Grey and a couple others. He's extremely powerful.
What cover did you get? Did you get
I
the
got the standard there. There,
yeah?
I didn't want to go nuts, but there's several that were very cool.
Yeah. I want to show off the one I got because I just when I saw it, I was like, ooh, my favorite style is I got
Yeah,
that vintage one, classic style.
yeah.
So
There
fun.
were there were multiples I thought I would love to get down the road.
Yeah. Well, the serious one. I mean, if you look, off to the left of me, you might notice that copywritten image that I'm using for my background there. That yeah, that's from one of the alt covers. That picture of Deadpool right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
But all right, and so what would you give Wolverine? Let's both give it a rating. You go first.
I'm going 4. It's a
Oh,
great introduction.
boom. I'm also going for. I thought the same thing. I can't wait for more to happen, and so I can give it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But in
yeah, that was the
fairness,
only thing.
you
Not
know,
much happened, but the things that
issue
that
one's
did
gonna
happen were
issue
cool.
one sometimes. You know what I mean? Like they're just gonna be we're setting it up. And that's fine.
Yep,
But
yep.
what were you gonna say?
That panel where what was the the villain that took the pistol to their face and shot through to shoot Wolverine in the head
Oh,
from through their face. That was nuts.
yeah, where is that panel? Let me. Agent X?
Yes, that's right. Agent X. My
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
it totally slipped my head. Yeah, that was an insane. That was cool. Yeah, yeah. And then
Jeez.
Wolverine just staggering in the next couple panels with blood coming down his off his face is
Oh,
cool.
so hardcore.
Oh, and the Deadpool trying to talk, but he can't because his mouth he's all like blur he's like all mumbling because of all the blood. It was pretty funny. Yeah,
uh,
it was great.
excellent. All right. Well, I think is that it? Yeah, that wraps it up for our comic reviews, and I think that wraps up this episode, our first episode, doesn't it, Machio?
That it does.
Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for checking out the R&S Comic Podcast, name subject to change and be more refined. But yeah, really appreciate you checking out R&S. Please like and subscribe if you can, and leave a comment, a suggestion, or a correction, and just be nice about it if you're gonna tell me I'm wrong. I'm okay with being wrong. Just don't be a dick.
Please.
But hopefully you check us out in the future, and we'll be seeing you same time next week. So keep reading, everybody. Have a good night.
Peace.